Hey, World Entertainment, and bad news for Star Trek Beyond sequel, as Chris Pine has revealed more bad news about this movie that we all knew was never going to happen. It's just waiting for Paramount to finally catch up and realise it too. But look, Star Trek Beyond bombed spectacularly at the box office. It didn't make money at all. None of them really actually ever made money. When you look at their budget, you factor in promotional costs, they barely broke even. All three of them. But we'll see what Pine said, which just confirms that this thing is never happening. So, Chris Pine has gone where many actors have never gone before. The villain of the new Disney film Wish can say that he is the star of not one, but two well-known franchises. Pine first starred as Captain Kirk in J.J. Abrams' 2009 reboot of Star Trek, and then he joined up with co-star Gal Gadot in DC Comics' big screen adaptation of Wonder Woman. Unfortunately, though, Pine doesn't have any good news to share with the fans where Star Trek 4 is concerned. Pine was asked in a recent interview with comicbook.com while promoting Wish if there were any updates regarding a new film. Pine replied, "Not that I know of." So let's not forget, every time Paramount and stuff mentions a new Star Trek movie, they always say the cast are on board, they've all signed up, they're ready to go, they're looking forward to it, seemingly forgetting that people can turn around to the cast and just say, "Is that true?" And they always say, "No." And here we go again. It's like, "Hey, Chris, any updates on the new Star Trek scripts and all that stuff?" And you say, "Nope, not as far as I'm aware of." Like, it's ridiculous at this stage. And just, I think Star Wars has become the same. They're just throwing out announcements left, right, and centre and hoping something actually takes off. You know, how many movies have they announced? Like, it's a ridiculous amount. And of course, now we didn't actually want to announce films and shows and stuff. It's just Bob Iger forced us to do it. Yeah, he forced you into announcing projects that you had no intention of making. Did he force you into spending probably a couple of million to make an advert to announce that Rogue Squadron movie with Patty Jenkins? Come on now. And to think the next Star Wars movie that will be put on the big screen, if it actually happens, will be a Rey Star Wars movie. So the franchise ended on the big screen with Rey and failed. I know people go, "But it made over $1 billion. Yeah, $1 billion. The thing should have been up somewhere close to $3 billion. It was the third and final in the new trilogy. Should have been smashed in the box office and had lower numbers than any of them. So it killed all the movies, put it on the small screen, and your first return to the big screen will be with the same characters that killed it. Well done, Star Wars. As for Star Trek, wait till you hear this part. There's an interesting part here. Pine went on to say he hadn't read any new scripts related to a Star Trek Beyond sequel either. Most recently, back in October, writer and director Lindsay Anderson Beer offered a similar update regarding a fourth Star Trek installment, which I did a video about. Beer said she was no longer attached to the project in a separate interview with comicbook.com, here's the interesting part, which has since been taken down. Why? Don't know. Maybe Paramount went, "Hey, take that down." It's weird that they would take it down. However, this is what she had said in it. "I wrote a couple drafts of that before I had to leave for Pet Sematary, and it was originally the seed of the idea came from JJ himself, who's such a creatively generous person, and it was amazing collaborating with him, and it was very sad to leave our Zoom sessions to focus on Pet Sematary Bloodlines. But this was my baby, so I had do prioritise. It's also interesting to hear that because from what I understand, the new Pet Cemetery is not all the best and was not received very well. But it's just reconfirming once again that this Star Trek is, as Bones McCoy would say, it's dead, Jim. And it really is. It's never taking off. The amount of money they would have to put into it, because the cost of those movies just kept ballooning, which made no sense. Nobody was interested in the characters anymore. When you realise that these movies never properly made money, not in the way they wanted to. And of course, let's not forget the biggest elephant in the room, which was Paramount saying flat out they wanted to be more Guardians of the Galaxy than Star Trek. That's right, no one can forget when Simon Pegg handed in his first draft for Star Trek Beyond, the exact quote from Paramount was, "No, it's too Star Trek-y," which just is mind-blowing. Oh, we're making Star Trek, except your script is too Star Trek. Like, how does that make sense? But there you go, once again, getting absolutely confirmed that this movie is never happening. And nobody wants it to happen. Nobody cares. This is not Star Trek. The shit that's on the TV through paywalls is also very much not Star Trek. Star Trek truly ended in 2003. Well, on the big screen, it ended in 2003. Small screen, 2005. Just let it go at this stage. Nobody wants it. Nobody cares. The actors clearly aren't caring for it. All they had to do to get another movie was actually pay Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth, who would agree to come back, the money that they were contracted to receive. But why would they have paid them so much when the movies weren't even bringing in as much? It's just one of them things. Anyway, with that, I will leave it there for this one. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.